Hello.
You?
Thank you.
Okay.
You leave it open. Thank you. Hey, everyone. Hello. Kristen, you might not have Misa to back you up because he went down to a field site this morning and he has to fix something.
Okay,
So sorry about that.
I think it's fine.
You look summery, Erica.
Yeah, I want it to be warmer than it is, though.
You're trying really hard.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen, it won't be your fault.
Yeah, I'm doing my part. It's all you guys that are sitting inside.
Hey, so I wanted to check in about summer meetings. I don't know if are we still waiting for people? Oh, no, 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 no. Misa's out in the field. Danny, I think I know Danny's not here, but he joined yesterday. Who else? Um, so anyway, we agreed to do Fridays, and that seemed like a good idea at the time. Um, but looking at the number of Fridays away, I am wondering if we should try to move some in June. So, I'm just gonna pop up the calendar. Or Kristen, you can pop up the calendar if it's up for you, or I can dig it up. Um, so I think a lot of people are out next week. Da, da, da.
I can't share, but there's the link. So
Oh, I'm sorry. I have it. Yeah. Share post tools. It's going to take me a year to learn this new interface. Okay, I turned it on. So next week, I know Paul and I are out. Kristen is out. And Christian, I think you're also, oh no, you're back on Friday, maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think I'm here next Friday.
Yeah, but there's a lot of outs. So, if you can think of a use for that meeting, you or Ellison or Erica, I'm happy to leave it on the calendar. Um, but then, okay, I'll just wait to hear about next week. Is there anything you want to do? People that are going to be here? Because I'll just cancel it um if nobody wants it.
I don't have any.
So go ahead.
I don't have, nothing's coming to mind.
So then we've got then the next week I'm going to be here, but Kristen and I are running a workshop to which many of you will be invited, but I realize it's short notice. So we will not be here then either. I could do it earlier in the week. Kristen will be out early, but I could do a meeting earlier in the week. But that would require rescheduling, and I know that people get full. But you can see the next one is on a holiday. And so like the next 3 weeks, there's something blocking. I feel like we should have at least one, but that could be just me refusing to admit that it is summer. So thoughts from people.
I could move things the week of June 12th, but I'll be out the whole week of June 19th. So
The 19th.
moving from
Okay.
Friday doesn't do any good for me.
Right. Right. Okay. So you're not marked out, but you will be out. Okay.
Yeah, it was marked as a holiday, so I didn't bother.
Right. Right, right. Um,
Yeah, I'm sorry if is Juneteenth and July 3rd are both observed by CSU, right?
yeah.
I just,
I don't think July 3rd is technically by CSU. Is it?
well, since I'm teaching this summer, it said that something like July 3rd was July 4th observed. And I shouldn't hold class, but
Nice. I like it.
I don't
I just
know.
put it on there, so I don't know I don't know like 110%, but I just put it on the calendar, so maybe I can double check
Yeah,
that.
now that you say that, I think perhaps that was like the makeup day for the governor, right? Like had Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve declared a state holiday and CSU already had it off. So I think that was like I think July 3rd was our makeup day.
Okay.
Okay.
These are all very weird. Why don't they just give you a day off and just instead of saying it's a makeup day? So I guess I'm looking at that 3 weeks with no meeting and thinking it would be good to just at least touch base. And so I could do like the 10th of June. Um, and I guess Marilee's not here. Oh, I know she was going to be out this week. Oh, she was marked out. But I feel like it'd be good to do one that week. Even though we'll probably be using most of the 10th to prepare for that. Kristen and I. Um, so let's do people okay with a meeting on the 10th? Paul, I don't remember when you're leaving, but
Well, I leave the morning of the 11th, so the 10th is fine. I am currently available 10 to 1. The thing I've got from 1 to 2, I could move if I need to.
And
cool.
I'm
Okay.
available 9 to 11. Can move
9 to
stuff
11.
later if we need to, but
10 to 11, 10 to 1. It sounds like 10. It sounds like
I
10.
have
I think.
another meeting at that time, unfortunately, but
Okay.
11. I can move something at 11, so if that makes a difference.
Okay, tentatively 11. And then I'll figure out what to do. So I'm going to cancel the 5th and the 19th, and then we'll just do the 10th.
Okay.
I
And
don't
we
think I can do that day, but don't let that stop you guys.
yeah, we've still got tech teams. And Erica, I'm going to try to connect with you about just planning that whole communication thing. So is your calendar a good way to figure out a day, or is that not? Why don't you send me some time,
Yes.
and it will not be next week.
Okay.
So the week after. Send me some times, we'll do that offline. Nobody has to listen to us try to bash it out. Okay. Great, thank you. And then I was gonna let Kristen and Misa talk. I think Misa's not gonna make it, but Kristen has done a lot of activities since we last talked about outreach and engagement. I think a lot of you know Milena Guajardo, also, and it's not like Milena is on our team, but she's part of that group. So I just wanted to let Kristen report back and tell you the sorts of things that we're doing.
Okay, you said a lot, but there's like three things. That's more than we did the year before. So, I'll take that. I mentioned, or I probably mentioned before, we did the Front Range Forum last summer. It's a 55 and up kind of group that meets once a month, and they have different events and topics and stuff that come through. And so Tammy did a presentation, and that was, I think, the first time Misa did a demo or had the demo with people. And it kind of spurred the whole in the portable air quality or portable air cleaner flyer that we have. I think it would be good to maybe reach out to them again, maybe for the fall or winter, and see if there's any kind of other topics that they would be interested in. Maybe not necessarily pat or sapphires, but maybe bigger patch topics, or I could connect them with one of you guys and it could be a completely different thing. So then we've done Spur second Saturday, which is like every second Saturday. Oh my God, I just said that. Second Saturday of the month. Done at Spur mainly for kids, and it's got lots of interactive events and it's very themed. The one we ended up going to was taken over by FFH. And so it was a lot of just honestly, I don't know exactly what all I read through the things, but people were doing all sorts of things. They were cooking in the one area. They had the tractors out. And I think they had some farm animals and stuff too. So we took a couple of flyers. We took the recruitment flyer and the portable air cleaner flyer, and then Misa did a demo. And big picture, kids really enjoyed the interactivity, kind of loved playing with the pushing everything and seeing the numbers. Adults were really engaged and had questions around swamp coolers and whole house fans and what kind of effect they have about the air quality. And so it was a good lead into they saw the demo, they saw the kids playing with the demo, and then they started asking questions, and then it led into okay, here's what you can do about it. We've got a study, we've got a flyer about air cleaners. So
How
and
many
then
of
we
you have
did
seen the demo? Paul has seen it.
next in-person meeting.
Do you want me to describe it, Kristen, just so people know what we're doing?
I can do it, and then you can tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
So Misa's put together two jugs. One acts as if it's a fire in the forest, and he creates smoke, and it's connected through tubes. And the other jug is like a house. So we have a manometer. I probably said that wrong. Measuring the pressure between the two, and then we also have something connected to the house jug that's measuring the PM2. And so each of the top of the jugs is where you can press it. It's I think he has a balloon on there, so you can affect the pressure between the two by just pressing on it, and you can show the kids or whoever that it doesn't take much for it to get to 5 pascals. And then I think the PM2, that one, it didn't last as long. It was having some technical things, but when the smoke, the idea was that we were showing that the smoke, it was raising in PM2 and you didn't see it in the jug already. And then once you start seeing it, you can see how it was really high, and that 32 was a number that was the EPA. I think I can't remember exactly what Misa kept saying, but it was the exposure limit for EPA. So did I get everything right there?
Yeah, pretty much. So Misa has these little scenes, right? Like little trees. It looks like a forest fire, and then indoors is furniture. And so I think the first thing with the balloons, like Kristen said, is just getting a sense of what is 5 pascals, and it's just not very much. And then that's the quantity of pressure that drives flow into your house. And then there's a dust track on there measuring the PM 2.5 and also serving as a pump. And then you can see the pressure difference. You can see that the smoke is migrating when there's a pressure difference, and then the house fills up with smoke, and you go, oh no, I'm being exposed. So I think it's two things, one, communicating the magnitude of pressures that are relevant, and two, showing that outdoor air gets inside in a visible way. And yeah, also indicating the relationship between what you can see and what EPA limits are.
Mm.
There are some bugs with the demo that we will be working on. The smoke is very stinky. And so if it escapes, which it frequently does, it's not that good to use indoors. So that is a work in progress. But I think Misa did a good job
Mhm.
putting that together, and it is continuing. Okay, so now you can talk about more, but I figured most people hadn't seen it because they don't come to the event.
Yeah, so we did that, and then we also we participated as like a resource table for a storytelling event that Milena and Emily Fisher from Atmos put on with collaboration. I think it was the city of Fort Collins. I can't remember who their partner was outside of CSU, but which was mostly adults. There's a few kids there, and there was like maybe 8 or 9 tables of resources for people to of all sorts of different things. And then the demo was harder to do there just because it was indoors and there wasn't like just a stream of people. So really once you start the smoke, you have to kind of show them the whole thing, and it's hard to restart it if so we didn't start the smoke, but people were interested. And I guess the big takeaways from that one is that and Spur is that we need to like really hone in on like the communication needs for different audiences. So like for the kids, we really had to ask them like probing questions, like, what do you think this number is going to be, or how big of a jump this is, and more. And then for the adults, they were asking very technical questions. So at least these people were, because they were part of the panel, and they were talking about air quality as it was. So I think one was like a retired professor or something like that. And then let's see. I think yeah, like lessons learned is what I kind of started thinking of, and things maybe we should think about for the future is having not necessarily branding, but having something that it's not just CSU, it's either Sapphires or Patch, like a tablecloth, or I created a poster and I rented a frame thing to hold it to catch people and get them into our little booth, but having more branded things to have on the table. And then less is more. So having like one specific thing that people go to. I think I had brought a couple other flyers, or one other flyer from somebody else, and I didn't even like know what to say about it. So it's either we have a bunch of flyers that say all the things we're doing, or we have one thing that leads into something that I take. And then I think we should have like a QR code where they scan. There's only one flyer and they scan it to sign up, because we didn't get any signups to the field study, even though quite a few people took flyers for it. And they're like, oh, we have a house that's that big. I think just either capturing their email there, or through a QR code, or writing it down and we contact them later. So we have that control of contacting them and following up. So we don't have that. And then if it's a longer event, more people, because 4 hours was 4 hours was quite a bit for just Misa and I. I mean, we were fine, but it was just it would have been nice to have just a couple breaks to be able to walk around and see what else was going on. We were there at the table, and it was not a constant stream, but pretty constant to where we couldn't really leave. Either one of us couldn't leave. So and then I'm looking at my notes. I think that's it. I think we could probably potentially lean on Mike from Powerhouse to see about communicate, how the kids take that kind of communication, maybe work with him. I think Milena and somebody else I spoke to recently, they had coloring books or some sort of coloring activity for kids that has done really well, even like out in weatherization world, and the adults even enjoy it because it's very simplified information. So just ideas for, how do we connect more? Yeah, I think, I don't know if there's anything else that I have top of mind though. Oh, and then trusted partnerships. Paul's part of it and Milena is also part of it. And Milena's sharing a bunch of events that are coming up. She just shared another storytelling one that's not necessarily on the calendar yet, but I'll keep an eye out for it. It's in June. But just trying to table at the resource fairs that Fort Collins has, and I think would be good next steps. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, or we haven't talked about this for a while, but there was some kind of question about like how do we communicate outward, and what do people want to know? I think that having it not just be sapphires, but sapphires included is better than everybody trying to communicate their own little things, and then just keep showing up, right? Keep have somebody there. There's more events than we can do, I think. So we just pick some, and then Milena is present at some because she has those activities. Um, and I've been thinking about what's the message, right? Why are we doing this? What is the communication that we want to do? And I think I'm getting to the idea that's just, hey, remember to think about air quality. I don't know what you think, Kristen, but it's like, no, it's not anything like, here's what we do. It's more like a bunch of people trying to help this part.
Yeah, I think they're more interested in like what they can do, and there's a fine
Mm.
line of scaring them about all the things that we know
Mhm.
about what, and then giving them the tools of like what they can do. I think having that resource of the even just the indoor air cleaner was really helpful to say, okay, we know we just told you this, that you're getting smoke exposure even though you don't see it, but here's something you can do. So I think that if we can, even if like we work backwards and say, okay, what do they want to know, or what are things that we can give them, and then what is the information we need to tell them first. So as opposed to here's all the studies that we're doing, like they understand that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a loose relationship. Like, we work on this and we will talk about it. What was the swamp cooler question? I'm curious. I don't remember. I think I might have asked you that before, but what do they want to know? Like, should I have one? Or what was the
No, they have one. And so like they didn't have when we were explaining things, we were saying that we were developing interventions that are either in the window or through HVAC. And they're like, well, what about if we just have a swamp cooler?
Mm.
So that's what they have, and they don't have everything else. I mean, they have windows, but that's kind of where that conversation went, or how was
I
this
see.
affected, or like the whole house fan, like does that make it worse? Because we were, talking about
Hmm.
fans. So,
It's going to
or
be hard for our interventions to really address homes with swamp coolers because their flows are just so high. It's going to be hard. It would be hard to deal with that.
But it could be a window unit, or are you saying that there would be such a high flow into, or do they create flow imbalance, swamp coolers? I don't really,
Yeah,
I
they
guess.
do. They do. So, I mean, I think that's one where honestly, I would not try any of our pressurization techniques in homes with swamp coolers. I think you go with your portable air cleaners.
Hmm. Okay. And I think there's kind of certainly Melena's now being funded. You all know Melena, I think. Um, well, the if there's anyone who doesn't know her, she's in Emily Fisher's group, but she really is tasked with community engagement within that group. Tends to be, I think, more outdoor air quality, but people get asked all kinds of things once you start talking about air quality. And so I think maybe in research, indoor and outdoor seems to have more of a division than it does for a person who sees outdoor air quality. They can take action indoors, right? The discipline of air quality is, I think, less divided for the average person than it is for us. Does that seem right from what you've heard, Kristen?
Yeah, I think they think of it as all at one thing, like it's all air quality to them, like whether it's outdoors or indoors, it's always going to be inside of eventually.
And what did you get, Kristen? Was it Dum Dums? Is that like the success move?
That was very successful, yes. We even got oh, somebody has lollipops. We got to go over there. So, yeah, that was very successful. I still have a lot, so if anybody loves Dum Dums, I got my
Well, they
stash.
don't go bad, do they?
They shouldn't. No, we should be able to use them. That was
Yeah.
that was one thing that Spur said there was going to be a lot more people than actually showed up, at least to our. They also sent out information on who showed up, but it didn't seem like we got that kind of traffic, even though we were literally in the middle of all the buildings. Like we were the only one outside, and so I don't know if it was just they didn't stop by, but didn't seem like as many people as what they said they did have.
Did you get the impression that, or I don't know if you could tell, but were they groups of people that were going for field trips, or were they families
Oh,
showing
just
up?
family.
Hmm.
Like yeah, just parents and kids out for the morning.
Hmm. Like looking for something to do and they see there's an event, so they go there because.
Because it's free. Yeah.
Mhm. Hmm. Yeah, so I think this will probably sort of coalesce. Like Milena is communicating about events that she does. We're trying to communicate back about so being more of a collective. Yeah, so I guess that's it. Any thoughts about things we should do differently? I guess we started this because we were hoping to recruit, but now we're just kind of out there. Allison, you've gone to farmers markets, right? True or not true? Am I
Oh,
misremember?
farmers markets. We went to quite a few events for a while for both the home recruiting and workplace recruiting, but they were like we went to food pantry
Mm.
Vindicate in town. And that was particularly to recruit. That wasn't, we weren't tabling to just, there's not like a culture of people just having booths. But then there was, if people know Anarelli Morales, who's
Hmm.
air quality person, in Weld County, they had an event called Thrive that I think is annual or biannual. It's um, much broader than even like just public health, or maybe you could call it public health, but I feel like it's a place where there's lots of tabling. Will went to that for us once or twice.
Hmm.
And Oh, I I don't think it, maybe it was the farmer's market. I don't actually think it was. It was it was Juneteenth. The Juneteenth event that was at the mall last year. We
Hmm.
tabled there for the whole day. Yeah, I think a
And that was
lot of,
mainly for recruiting.
what was that for? Yeah, I mean, we intended it for recruiting. I think, yeah, and it didn't actually translate into very many interviews. I think it felt like, I mean, there were other people there that we felt like we were part of their culture, like Mindy Hill, I think was somewhat related through Center for Environmental Justice, and then outdoor and indoor air quality people from City of Fort Collins. Um, we may have even been told about the event from them, but
Mm,
it seemed like we were coherent with a number of other tables, and we were
yeah.
sending people, back and forth. So it seemed good that we were there. It also was a really good training opportunity for two people on our team who were new to our team. So they got to like, Will and I were there tabling and talking with people. And I think part of the reason I committed to it was that gave them an opportunity to see what kind of questions people come up with and
Mm,
sort of a quickly get up to speed. Because I think two of them had joined within like a few weeks and they weren't, going to be on point to answer questions on their own, but it gave them a deadline to like get to know some of the material that we circulate
yeah.
within our group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christian, do you folks do anything in Alamosa where you have that project? Or do
Yes, but there's a whole team who just does that. There's like, well, rephrase that. There is members of the team who their job is to help coordinate these community groups. So it's very black box to me what they are actually doing. They did flyers and they do meetings, but it sounds like it's groups who are already interested in air pollution.
Hmm.
It's CARB, which I should know what it stands for, but I have no idea what it stands for.
The California Air Research Board, is that one I finally know?
I don't think so if it's in Alamosa.
Oh,
Not just
shoot.
from
But that is correct for that
Colorado.
acronym normally.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Nailed
that's what always
it.
throws me off, is they say it, and like that's so it's correct, but not quite correct.
Yeah.
But I know they've been doing flyers and meetings. That was a little different because that group was engaged because they're putting up monitors and the grant required them to be like part of it as part of the like mission of bringing additional knowledge to an underserved community. So Lisa Scudo from National Jewish, I think is the person like from our broader team who's interfacing with those San Luis Valley folks.
So you don't
All I know
have
is they give
to.
me like 1,000 comments on you should move the button on the website to the left. That's the only thing I've got from them.
What? Okay.
Move the button, change the color. That's the only feedback I've gotten. So they care about that a lot.
Hmm. And you promptly did it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've just waited them out. That's all I've done.
Yeah, so I think people have had a kind of a practice of engagement. I don't know how to keep it up. But I guess we will try. Like just keep air quality on the agenda, have us be the people that people look to when they think of air quality. And just try to be more of a presence. Allison, you'll be happy to know that when we were at Healthy Housing Coalition on Wednesday, they were like, "Oh, you should connect with Allison Carter." So your name has been engraved.
For better or worse. I wonder about the like where like I liked the events that seemed to be like kind of to your point, Kristen, about what kind of questions people bring. I liked the Juneteenth event and the Thrive event the best because there's just people were coming there. either for fun to like spend the day, but also like because there's everything, it doesn't feel like there's an overemphasis. It's
Mhm.
and that's just a personal, like Tammy, you know, you and I have talked quite a bit lately about, and I think in this meeting I've talked about my discomfort with over attention. But it feels balanced when it's part of this like larger scope, which is just like Thrive is about like helping families know what resources are available to them, like for lunches at school and dental health and even things outside of health, like getting into parks and rec programs. So it feels like we're sort of just part of the fabric then. And
Mhm.
Juneteenth felt like that too, where
Hmm.
the conversations just felt a little lighter because yeah, they just felt a little lighter.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that too, and it feels better. Like just, hey,
Mm.
remember
Mhm.
this is part of life. Um,
Mhm.
I it's such a weird structure that we live in because that's like not a goal, right? For the structure itself. The structure is like do something related to your project and then report it and that doesn't it doesn't feel authentic in engagement to me.
Mhm.
So I like this tabling thing. I would struggle to justify it to a project manager maybe, but I'm also interested in just what's the right thing to do for people.
I'll add one more thing. I do think for like a project manager, have been, it was not what I ever intended, but I feel like the tabling has proved to be the best way to onboard people. And maybe they don't agree. I should probably ask them if they agree. Well, I have asked the couple most recent people because knowing that they're there with like someone else who's experienced, like Will has had a lot of experience tabling, and I'm comfortable being wrong in front of people.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like they were really good opportunities for undergrad and master students to like come join and also have to have done some pre-work to feel ready. So
Mhm.
I don't know if that falls maybe within the like training and bringing
Mm.
staff on for a program manager if there's ever concern about fit or within scope.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice idea. We've talked, or we're going to have to talk about this a similar thing with people shadowing the installs, right? Like
Mhm.
when occupants ask questions, then it can be very uncomfortable if they're asking a question to a new person, but that person listening to what's being said is also good training. Okay, well, I don't have anything else. I just wanted y'all to know what's going on. Sort of part of the project. The demo is fun. Like I hope we can get it sealed because it's like it's pretty impressive and I think it's tactile and it's a thing that people can I would not limit it to just sapphires. It's a thing that can help people understand air quality. So that's available. Or it once it's sealed, it will be available. If anyone else should find a use for it. It's a visual thing that people can be attracted to. All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.